For several years before my son came to me, I worked as a school social worker at special education schools for students with behavior challenges. The students were in this school because their home school district could not manage their behaviors. So essentially, every day at work, I was dealing with kids who were highly oppositional and argumentative and were often getting into power struggles with their teachers or the school administration. Even when the kids were oppositional or argumentative with me, I was never emotionally reactive to it because they weren't my kid. So when my son came to me and I quickly realized he was more oppositional than any child I had worked with at school, not only was it really triggering to me, but it didn't help that I was dealing with these behaviors all day in school and then I was coming home and dealing with them. One of my son's go-to behaviors was to say no to anything, even if it was something that he would enjoy. I want to explain to you the two ways I would handle it when he would say no to everything. Number one, I would just not respond to it. I call this disconnecting the power source. For many kids with ADHD, being argumentative and oppositional is a form of novelty to them. Getting an emotional reaction from a parent or pulling them into the argument vortex is entertaining to them. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, my child says no or argues all the time, so why is this always entertaining to them? The reason why it's always entertaining is because you respond to it. So what you do is you disconnect the power source. And what I mean by that is you don't respond. For example, when I would tell my son that we're doing something or I would ask him to do something and he would say no, I just wouldn't respond. When I learned to stop getting triggered and use affective calmness and no longer respond to his no's, you know what happened? He actually escalated. You know why? Because what was working for him before no longer worked for him, and therefore the novelty was gone. So this escalation often went to property destruction, which then triggered me. And again, I had to learn to use affective calmness to learn not to give him an emotional reaction or start arguing with him about the property destruction. Affective calmness is a term I learned from my son's psychiatrist, and what it means is that you show you're calm even when you don't feel calm inside. That is modeling healthy emotional regulation, and again, it's teaching your child, I'm not going to get pulled into your novelty-seeking behaviors. So when you stop responding to no with emotional reactivity or with talking, you are disconnecting the power source. As my son got older, his saying no was more based in inflexibility than in novelty seeking. And for those times, what I did was I used what's called language of accountability, and I gave him a choice. Language of accountability sounds like this. You can choose to do your chores and then have your computer time later, or you can choose to not do your chores and not have your computer time later. It's completely up to you. When we use language of accountability, we're teaching the child you are in control of the choices you make. And if we have daily expectations in place for them earning the things they want, well, then we're framing this as you make the choice whether you earn the things you want or not. The following strategies I just mentioned are taught in Scaffolding Better Behavior, the ADHD Dude Parent Behavior Training Program. Please keep in mind, parent training, not therapy, is the American Academy of Pediatrics evidence-based recommended treatment for kids with ADHD. The Creating Daily Expectations course, which is also part of the membership site, will provide you with strategies to get your child to do the things you need them to do because you will learn how to have clear and consistent expectations in place. If you want practical strategies to help address your child's oppositional, inflexible, or argumentative behaviors, please check out the ADHD Dude membership site, and I will speak to you soon. Take care.